What's up, everybody? Welcome to 3D Rivals, your first line of defense against stupid movies. My name is DJ, and as always, I'm joined by my co-host, my sister Dea,
What's up?
and my brother Derek.
What's up?
And tonight we're going to be talking about Mission Impossible 2, starring Tom Cruise, Tandy Newton, and the normal crew. Who's the bad guy?
His name is Doug Ray Scott.
Okay, Doug Ray Scott. There you go.
He's been in a bunch of stuff.
So, yes, this was a movie.
Mhm.
Certainly.
Mhm.
Certainly was a movie. I definitely got some things I want to talk about with it.
Mhm.
But I guess I'll get to the story. We start with a scientist guy giving himself a virus, which is called Chimera.
Mhm.
Mhm.
And he's planning to meet with
Dimitri.
Ethan Hunt, who he thinks his name is Dimitri,
Yes.
apparently.
Yes.
And he wants to take it to the CDC in Atlanta.
Mhm.
Right. So he has the cure, he has the virus.
Yeah, he's carrying the virus in his person, and he has the cure in his briefcase or whatever.
Yeah, because
Yes.
I guess he couldn't like carry the virus across borders, right? So
How does he get the? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
would the virus get flagged but not the cure? Because I just feel like what's in this vial?
or you know what you could have done? You could have called the CDC
Very true. And mailed it.
and like I'm pretty sure they have ways to do this,
Yeah.
right? It's not rather than shooting yourself up.
Yeah, he could have just sent it to them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like I know you can't just mail it, but like if you coordinate things,
if you know it's coming, I'm pretty sure
Yeah.
you can absolutely ship samples of things to the CDC.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And also, why did
And a
he?
box that's marked hazardous.
But why did him and Dimitri need to meet up in Sydney to then go to Atlanta? Or we could just meet in Atlanta.
we could have met in Atlanta. That's true.
Yeah.
That's
I just
true.
feel like we're making extra stops,
Mhm.
especially
A
when you're
lot
on the
of extra.
timeline.
Yeah.
A lot of extra.
Because
Anyway,
he shot himself with it, and now he has 20 hours.
20 hours
Yeah,
to get what from Sydney to Atlanta,
Yeah.
by the way,
yeah.
which I'm pretty sure is what a 13-hour flight or
Probably.
something
I'm
like
about
that.
I'm about to hit it and let you know.
I'm like,
Okay.
so you're,
Right,
you're
'cause
gonna be
when
right
he-
about to die.
Yeah, because when
Yeah.
he said that, I was like, well, you spending most of the time on this airplane.
Yeah.
I just said that off the top of my head. I was like,
And you gotta get to the airport 2 hours early. Then the plane is delayed.
right.
Bro dies on the plane.
Yeah.
And all them other people get infected.
Yeah, especially since like I can never fly
Is
without
I
my
don't have
flight
the disease.
being delayed.
Yeah.
Like never. 18 hours.
What?
18 hours. Well, that's an extremely bad idea.
18 hours?
He definitely gets there after the 20 hours.
They say after the 20 hours, the
can't be cured.
cure doesn't work.
So was he planning on dying anyway? He had to be because like
That is stupid.
it's very stupid.
Yeah.
It's-
18 hours and 35 minutes according to Google.
So he has
Maps.
an hour and 25 minutes.
Yeah. I mean, and then that
Unless
lets
he
you.
gives himself the cure and then.
But if he gives himself the cure,
Would that
then the
mess up the
CDC,
virus?
Yeah,
the
then the
CDC
virus
will
is
have
there.
no record of the virus. They
Yeah.
need the virus,
This is
in
why
order-
he should have just called the CDC.
and it. I feel like you can mail it faster.
Even if he
You
snuck it out of, like, I'm pretty sure he had a way to sneak it out of the company building in order to.
Yeah.
Also,
Maybe he. I don't know. Maybe
they
he felt like he
explain
did.
later on what Chimera is. They kind of blended all of the strains of the flu together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which
'Cause
I'm like, I'm gonna put the brakes on there, buddy. Okay, I get that we want a cure for the flu.
Mhm.
Mhm.
All right, it's cool. It's cool. Flu is a little bit less dangerous than it. I mean, like it's still dangerous.
Because people
But-
still die from it.
Yeah, but you know,
Let's
with
not.
modern medicine, it's not. You know,
Yeah.
Mhm.
I don't think we need to do a chimera flu. You know what I mean?
We
Like,
don't need to put all the flus together.
we could just work on curing like the regular
Yeah.
flu.
Well, I guess he thought if you like by splicing them, he would somehow get a cure from that.
And then what happens when your splice version mutates? Now you got super flu that now has mutated to a super
I mean, that's
flu.
the whole thing about the flu, right?
Super
It's
flu.
like it changes so often, which is why you don't have a cure for it, right?
Yeah.
So I just want to go on record. I'm pretty sure they have done this in real life.
Yeah, well, don't
It
release
just
it.
hasn't left the lab, but I'm pretty sure they
Also
sent it
destroyed in
somewhere.
the lab.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, occasionally it gets out. COVID.
Go. Okay, we're not gonna go down that road.
It got out somehow.
It wasn't from a lab. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, it's not a lab virus.
Yeah. From what they said, it mutated from well, interesting enough, wasn't it like a pig bat? The same thing that Contagion was.
Oh gosh.
Contagion.
Pig bat.
Mhm. And that
Just
was like
kill
the
all
second
pigs and
movie.
all bats, and
And that was like the second movie we reviewed during COVID.
Okay. Oh well, that's because hold on. I want maybe we can do a little bit faster. That included an overnight layover.
Okay.
Okay.
So all right. So maybe there's a thing in here that doesn't
Are we
have.
going west, or are we trying to go across the Pacific?
You're going across the ocean.
Okay.
I think that's the only way you.
Yeah, you're going
Okay,
directly
go.
across the ocean.
No, there are flights going the other way because sometimes it's
Yeah.
even though it's longer, it's cheaper for them
Yeah.
to.
So this one takes you to from Sydney to Korea. That seems weird.
See, and then Korea across the ocean.
No, either way, you're gonna have an overnight layover. This is not working.
Yeah. See.
It's not working.
Yeah, I don't. I'm like being that on the other side of the world. I don't see that working without an overnight layover.
Yeah.
Phone call, man. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, and then mail it, and then because
And
you
then
can.
was it imperative that it happened right now? Like the company
Yeah.
wasn't about to release Chimera.
No.
Yeah, they just discovered it. And I get it's like, yo, we have this dangerous thing. We need to, make sure we have the cure and all of that ready to
Yeah,
go.
now I think they
Yes.
were going to probably do something so they can make money, but
Of course.
it wasn't like I don't think it was like I got to do this right now because they're about to put somebody in the middle of Sydney
Mm-hmm.
with Chimera,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like it wasn't that. So I think he could have called somebody, snuck something out of the building, found a
Mhm.
way to get it to the CDC.
But I
Maybe
have-
call South Korea. I'm pretty sure. I know it's like not the CDC, but I think they have a center of disease control there.
well, I don't know because I feel like everything goes through the CDC because that's just been like known worldwide. But my thing is, I think it goes back to if you're communicating with them, then you can send them what you have, and it's unnecessary unless he couldn't get it out of the lab without people being suspicious, and they wouldn't allow it. But that wasn't made clear to me.
I
It
mean,
wasn't made clear.
I mean, he was willing to shoot himself with the virus. I would have been more willing to get just shot with a gun rather than not,
Well,
sneaking it out of the office.
I have questions about how it spreads
Yeah, they didn't explain that.
because
They didn't.
oh girl, we're jumping, but we're gonna jump. And well, okay, let's go
Yeah,
back to
we
him.
haven't even gotten to the movie
It
yet.
doesn't even matter. Okay, at what point does he become contagious? Is it
Yeah,
They
only
never
after
explained that.
he sprouts that white stuff? Is he now contagious?
Yeah. Also, what flu does that? I'm very confused. Like,
Well, I think that was the whole point. They just created a whole other kind of beast.
because the flu, it like did not seem to work like the flu.
It looked like the fungus stuff from The Last of Us.
Yeah.
I think it's just. I guess they're trying to show you like what it looks like. That's what you look like on the outside when your cells are rapidly dying.
But my thing is, at what point is he contagious?
They never explained that.
My thing is if he's only become contagious once he looks at that stage, you're already at the hospital at that stage.
Yeah.
Right? You're not walking down the street looking like that. I mean, your cells dying off like that.
Yeah, they never explained.
Which
when
is in
you're
general
contagious.
not how a lot of these viruses work. You're usually contagious before you know you're sick.
Well, that's what I'm
Right.
saying. Is like, was he already? He clearly wasn't afraid of spreading the disease as is in his body.
True,
'cause
he was on a plane.
You were on a
He
plane.
could have been patient zero for the spread of this entire virus.
Well, that's what they wanted to do with Tandy Newton's character. Oh, drop her in the middle of the city, which, by the way, you don't make sure she stays in the city.
Yeah, there was nobody watching her.
Yeah.
We'll get to that.
So dumb. And then my thing is, if you drop her in the middle of the city, when is she contagious?
Yeah.
When is she going to start spreading? You're talking about she's going to kill
Because I was like, is the person
No,
contagious when they die?
them
Like,
putting her in the middle of the city makes it clear it's after the 20-hour mark because she was about to be out of time and that they were expecting so it takes 20 hours for it to become
But
contagious.
my thing is, at that point, you're now at the hospital. You're
Yeah.
not infecting these 3 million people, you said. Because, okay, if the doctors and nurses get sick, then there's another 20 hours. But now they know she has something. Isn't protocol to start quarantining people?
Yeah. Also, their plan isn't that great. I'll get to why in a second. With the cure and stuff. It's not that good.
Well, I just feel like if someone comes to the hospital with a weird disease, you start locking things down.
Oh yeah.
So I just don't know. It's like, oh, there's 3 million people in Sydney. And I'm just like, this disease doesn't seem to be spreading that fast for you to get everybody like that. And then I just feel like once they start seeing weird things, that's when they call the CDC and be like, hey, we got something weird in Australia.
Then it's too late.
I was going to say, I'm pretty sure the CDC has contacts in Australia
Yes.
that he could have contacted, and then
Mhm.
through their own channels, they would have been able to get it to Atlanta.
I'm thinking that for some
Or
reason,
they have a lab in Australia.
I'm thinking for some reason he had to be incognito.
It was
I-
dumb.
I don't know what that reason is, but that's what
I
I'm
felt like
thinking.
it was more riskier, and apparently it was.
Yeah, I'm thinking is he had to be incognito and sneak it out of the lab, and he couldn't just directly call them.
Well, we'll get to the point why it didn't work. I'm sorry. We were stuck on the very first part of this movie for a while.
First 5 minutes.
But so he gets on the plane where he was clearly going to die because it's not going to get to Atlanta in 20 hours.
Mhm.
And he thinks he's talking to Ethan Hunt, but he's not. It's someone else wearing the mask, and the mask was used way too much in this movie.
Mhm.
Way too much.
Mhm.
But yeah,
But we already learned that that's the main thing.
Yeah,
with
but
Mission Impossible.
no, it's not.
it's not.
And yes, that's a trick they have, but using it and then using it too much are two different things.
It was used like 7 times in this movie.
It was too much.
It was way too. The bad guys were using it. The good guys were using it. They were using it at the same time.
But in Ghost Protocol, they couldn't use it because the machine wasn't working.
Yeah. Good. I'm glad.
Mhm, mhm.
So yeah, so they crashed the plane in order to escape with the cure, but they didn't have the virus. Did they know they didn't have
No,
the virus?
they-
Thought he had the virus on him.
I thought it was he stole something, but he didn't know he was stealing. Isn't that what was
Well,
happening?
why would you? So you killed a bunch of people and the scientist guy because you're like, he's got something valuable. I don't know what it is. You don't make that plan when you don't know what it
I
is.
feel like they said that a few times, that basically he did all of that without making sure he knew what he had.
Mhm.
Wasn't that the thing that I heard?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they said he didn't know if it was a cure or the virus.
Mm.
He knew it was one.
Okay, but he had the cure without the virus.
Yeah.
And the doctor was the virus, and he didn't know that, and he killed him.
Not a great plan.
Not a great plan.
Yeah.
Yeah. But this is when we have to collect Ethan Hunt, and we have the totally unnecessary mountain climbing scene
Yeah.
that Tom Cruise did for real, unnecessarily.
Unnecessarily.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, why? 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 And then they tried to later on show him like climbing a mountain to try and make it relevant as
That's
to
not
why that
relevant.
scene is. Like, no, I would have believed he could have climbed.
That's what I'm saying.
Don't
Like,
worry, I
the
didn't
fact that he can climb mountains would not have been questionable where he learned how to mountain climb. Like, I wouldn't have
he's
questioned
a
that.
spy.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Like, I don't.
I'm
Because-
assuming that he knows how to do everything.
In any movie, you could give me any character and then like switch to them the scene of them like scaling up a cliff, and I'm not gonna go, well, where did they learn how to do that?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, so it's a skill easily enough to learn. Like, I'm not going to question if so and so has rock climbing abilities. Any one of us can have that if we so desire.
Right. I mean, look, and I'm not saying that I can rock climb. I can't.
No.
But what I'm saying is it's not like so far fetched for any
Exactly.
character to have that skill.
Nope, not at all.
Right.
Especially not a spy.
Like, come on.
Yeah.
All right. So unnecessary scene. He gets a message through some sunglasses. Man, this movie is so 90s. I can't. I know it came out after the 90s, but it is
about this
it's
all the
strong
time.
90s, man.
Yeah, but we talked about this all the time about the self-destructing. in 5 seconds. I was like, that blew up on his face, by the way.
Wasn't there had to be a Saturday Night Live or something like that with it blowing up on his
It was
face?
just like, it was self-destructed
In 5 seconds.
And then he said a line.
I did count. It was like 7 seconds. So yes, it blew
Up on his face.
Yes.
Because I was like, the line he said was almost 5 seconds.
Yeah, he paused. Who goes, this is going to blow up in 5 seconds?
And he was just
and you
like-
pause with it on your face.
It was the vacation line.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
it
Next
was
time,
like,
tell us where you're going.
Right. And he was like, why would I tell you where I'm going? Then it wouldn't be considered a vacation.
But my thing is, what difference does it make if they clearly can find you?
Anyway. Yeah.
Yeah. So still not a vacation. Because they can
Also,
just
I
track
don't
you
need the
down.
messages to blow up. There's a different way for you to self-destruct this message.
Or I
and
don't
not-
know.
It's a different way of sending it.
Just call me.
True.
As
On an
well.
encrypted line, and you're spies.
You're spies. Because you're gonna send me a message that explodes so I can meet you in the alley somewhere in some other random country.
Yeah.
But anyway, he's told to get Tandy Newton's character,
Naya.
which her daughter looks like so much like her.
It's crazy, right?
Yeah.
Like looking at her now in this movie because she was way younger, I'm like, wow, okay, yeah, her daughter looks exactly like her. But yeah, so he's to collect her. They tell him it's for thieving stuff, but it turns out it's because she had a relationship with the guy. What's his name?
Ambrose in the movie.
Ambrose.
Yeah.
Ambrose.
Yeah, Ambrose. She had a relationship with Ambrose, and he's the guy that stole the cure.
Mm-hmm.
So Ethan is thinking that they want him to recruit her because she's good at stealing.
But she's not.
She's not.
She's very bad at thieving.
Yeah, because he outsmarted her.
That and why would you think an agency full of spies will need to recruit a thief to steal something when all of you guys have that skill? That like I was
He
saying,
didn't
like
think
that doesn't
through.
make any
But
sense.
that's what his boss was trying to tell him. His boss was like, well, what do you think we needed her for?
Yeah.
Also, okay, the stupid car chase scene on the side of the mountain.
They both died.
I think this is a good time to mention this. This movie has a lot of unnecessary slow motion.
A ton.
The slow motion.
A ton.
It's
of
like,
slow
it's
motion.
like his foot hit the first step and it's just like
And I'm like, why are we watching this in slow motion? We watched her walk up to Ambrose in slow motion. Her
Yeah.
scarf flies off and then he catches it. And then it's going to bring me to my second point with the unnecessary quote unquote epic music that plays with nothing happening in the scene. That whole scene with her walking up to Ambrose and then the scarf flies off and he catches it and is like, dum 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 dum. And I'm like, what? Nothing is happening right now.
Because he puts the scarf right back on her.
Why did we even film that scene?
Yeah.
I didn't need to see him catch the scarf. Tell me what importance that had, director. I want to know. What did that do for
Yeah,
the story?
John
Maybe it makes them look cool.
It was John Woo.
It was
Yeah.
John Woo.
Yeah.
You didn't too? Boy, whew, this
Ooh,
had
and then
John
the
Woo
scene-
written all
The
over it.
scene with Ethan Hunt and his boss. Because he was upset about using her undercover and saying her being undercover is not going to work.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, this was a whole lot of sexism going on with this scene.
Oh, right.
So
It was
horrible.
because she's a woman. She's skilled at lying anyways.
Yeah.
I was
No,
like,
sleeping with a man and then lying
Sleeping
to
with a
him.
man and lying.
And I was like, wow. Bro.
Yeah.
And he was
Man,
like,
I mean, I'm
how-
pretty
he
sure a
was-
man can sleep
He
with
was
somebody
like,
and
how
lie to
do
them
you
too.
know? And he was like, she's a woman. And I was like,
Yeah. I was like, woo. Oh,
Okay.
all right.
I guess we are more sensitive now. I don't know. But this is
that's kind of
In
bad.
this situation,
That-
rightfully so.
that bad. Because they kept referring back to that throughout the movie.
And I was just like,
Swinging
maybe
from branch to
I'm
branch.
like, I don't know why you saying it like that. Maybe she broke up with him. Maybe she doesn't want to sleep with him. You ever think of that? Like,
Hmm.
she don't want to sleep with him.
Well, you basically told her you have to do this, but don't worry, you're skilled at doing it anyways.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because he was worried about her failing. Ethan was. He said she's skilled at it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, anyway, Ambrose figured out that she was there probably as a spy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But he was kind of hoping that she wasn't.
Yeah. Unnecessarily cuts his like
Oh, because
right hand man.
Yeah, because his
finger
right
off.
hand man was like, "Hey, she shouldn't be here at all."
Yeah.
And he was like,
Fair enough.
And he's like, "Well, even if it is a slight chance, I'm willing to take it." And I'm just like, "Listen to your boy."
Yeah. Yeah.
Because basically, you cut this dude's fingertip off for no reason.
I don't like using this word, but he was simping real hard.
But my thing is,
He was
he
simping
readily
real hard.
admitted it though. He's like, "But I'm about to get it though, so I don't care."
Yeah.
It's basically what he said.
Yeah.
He's just like,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, and it's like, okay, even if she is a spy, I'm getting mine though.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah.
Yeah, and his
But
boy
then
was
why
like,
was he so hurt at the end?
exactly.
Also, I question whether or not she's a good thief because we're gonna move on
She's
to
not a good thief.
the next little part.
Next
here.
scene.
So it turns out they go into the racetrack. Ethan and them is watching Naya and stuff, and he's meeting with the CEO of the pharmaceutical company.
Yeah.
To show him he has that, like, look, we got the cure for your disease, and we know exactly what happens. So basically, blackmail, right? And in the meantime, so they see also them talking over the comms was horrible. I don't know. It didn't seem like good spy work to me.
No.
But
it was a lot of bad spy work in there. Even the little camera thing, like, oh boy, got to leave the white van to hand Ethan a camera. And then I don't know, point and shoot still in the system 2000. Was that later?
I don't know. Yeah, they had to go.
They had to exist in 2000.
Yeah.
Yeah. So why was that camera so big?
I don't know.
Okay.
But yeah, so he has the information on a memory card for a camera, which in 2000 I know what they didn't do, and that was have a universal memory storage system.
True.
So I don't know why it was just like, get me a camera and I'll be able to use this, because I was like, probably not.
Right, because that camera is Sony, but the other thing is from Panasonic. Them things wasn't meeting.
Yeah. Nowadays everything's SD. All right, that's fine. But yeah, no, back then it wasn't. But whatever, that's just a nitpick. Okay, so she has to steal it from his jacket pocket, which she does. Right jacket pocket. They made sure they said that
left
at the time.
It was left.
Oh, left jacket pocket. Yeah.
Yes.
So left jacket pocket. And so she steals it, gives it to Ethan, and he records it.
I thought he was just watching.
Looking at
He's
at
just
it.
watching
Yeah,
it.
so that's kind of pointless because now there's no evidence.
Yeah,
Like,
because I
can
was
we
just
get a
like,
copy of the card?
Right, but you can't copy it that fast.
no, you can't.
Because remember, he does not like he has a laptop on him or whatever.
So why did we steal this?
So he can watch it.
Yeah.
That's unnecessarily putting my life in danger.
After that,
Yeah.
and I'm like, that was one of my nitpicks. I was like, that was not needed. You didn't need to see evidence. You already knew what he had.
Yeah, they kept acting like they didn't know what the plan was, but you know what this plan is.
Yeah, you know what he has. You know what his plan is. There was no need for them to steal that memory card to look at the pictures.
Also, I'm
maybe they
questioning-
didn't know about the 20. Maybe they didn't know about the 20-hour thing.
They did no, they wouldn't have.
So
Yeah.
they had to watch the video to get the 20-hour thing.
No, they didn't know because the message he sent to Dimitri said 20 hours.
Remember,
Yeah, but he didn't see the
Ethan
message.
They
wasn't.
didn't know that he had given himself the virus. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
Okay.
and
don't
also
know that yet.
Ethan wasn't Dimitri then.
Yeah, I know. They still had the message though.
They had the message.
Yeah, because he played it for Ethan before he recruited,
Oh.
or well, in that whole sexist scene we were talking about, he played that message for Ethan.
Okay, yes. So I don't know. They said they had to do it to I think it had to do with the 20-hour period and to know what the Bellaferon or whatever it was called was doing.
Okay. I question how that camera got like imagery of the virus attacking cells and stuff.
It was recorded video.
Mm-hmm.
So they
What, a microscope?
sure.
Yes. It was a
So,
computer
in
image.
the lab, they have the scopy thing.
Full color.
Microscopes come in color.
I'm
So
just-
that no. I think you're wrong on this.
Okay.
So
all right.
he's in the
I'm
lab,
thinking too much into this.
right? And so they're recording. This is what the virus is doing.
Mhm.
They're showing pictures of that one guy who died,
Yeah.
and that's all recorded on the SD card.
Yeah.
So now Ethan gets to watch that because he has to. So now he gets to watch the video of all of that.
Gotcha. Oh, they did record it because it was being like sent back to an old dude in the van. So I think they did record it.
Mhm.
On the camera?
Yeah,
Yeah.
because he was watching it too. I remember.
Yeah, he was watching it in the camera. Yeah.
How do you wirelessly do that in 2000? I don't know.
I don't know. You can do it now, unless he's in the cloud,
It's spy work.
right? You
Yeah,
have
they're spies. They got it. They got a satellite that can track you within 3 feet, but somehow that tracking device isn't traceable to the people on the compound.
sure.
That they made a point that they scanned her and it was like, she's clean, but she definitely got a tracking device that somehow can be traced within 3 feet by a satellite.
Different frequencies.
I guess.
I'm gonna let that. They're spies. I'm gonna let that go.
Okay.
I'm still trying to figure out how do we record an SD card with the camera.
Listen.
I mean, there's only one SD slide.
It did
I
go
don't
in-
know.
it did go in this.
And if he's watching it on the camera, dude in the van can't watch it.
It was on his screen. It was.
It was because they
The
both was
cloud didn't
watching.
exist in
It
2000.
didn't, but they both were watching it at the same time.
That's,
It was being beamed from the camera to the van.
how?
Okay, there was a cord connected.
Like, I'm just like the more I'm like that. How?
I think we're thinking too much into this.
We are. We're getting too deep. We're getting too deep. Anyway, we were.
No,
talking
it's
about-
not realistic.
It didn't exist.
It did
None of this is realistic.
Okay.
Oh, not
All right. Well, maybe they invented a cloud before the cloud existed.
Okay. Some epic music later. She returns back
Mm-hmm.
to the horse race.
Oh, because his number one guy was following her,
Mm-hmm.
and somehow Ethan disappeared 2 seconds before he got there, which he would have got.
Look,
he
he's
would've
Jason
saw.
Bourne. Okay.
Yeah, he's a spy. He's a spy. I buy
so-
that.
He was.
You ever
5
seen
feet
the
away.
videos where they like what Batman actually does?
Oh, yeah.
And he's like hiding in the corner. So I just imagine that's what Ethan Hunt was doing. Like he's like under the table.
I buy that.
So okay.
This is where her
Yeah.
stupidness come in.
Yeah, so she's obviously not a good thief because she puts it back in the wrong pocket.
Dude, when she did it, I'm like, that's the wrong pocket.
Right.
My
And he
thing
felt
is,
it.
she was so obvious with that, and I'm like,
She
you
was
could've-
obvious when she took it. I'm like,
yeah. But my thing is, it wouldn't have been better to wait until after the horse won,
Yes.
because then you can pretend like you're excited and you're hugging him. Then you can
Yes.
slide it back in.
yeah.
At that point, she had no reason to touch him,
Mhm.
and then she slid it in the wrong pocket, and he's like, straight up, I saw that.
Yeah.
And
or,
then
or
let's say-
like he gets up and you put it in his seat and he like I dropped it somehow. I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. What if, like, okay, he does check his pocket for it and realize that it's not there? He still doesn't know that she took it. So it could just be like, oh man, you lost it, and then it's just like, oh, I found it.
But how
But-
does it fall out of the interior jacket pocket?
It shouldn't.
It shouldn't.
That's not going to happen.
No,
So
I mean,
she-
true.
She should have just
but
put it
Better
back
than
where
putting
it goes.
in the wrong pocket.
yeah,
And then is the CIA rigging these races?
I don't know.
because
Both of those horses was like, I don't know odds, but like 20
Yeah.
to 1 to win or something.
and they both won.
Yeah. I'm like, how y'all do that?
Yeah, that's true. That's true. So anyhow, they're like, you gotta get out. Ethan's telling her she's gotta leave
hmm
the compound because they got what they need now. Did they need her for that?
They didn't need her for anything.
No,
They actually didn't need
They
her to
didn't
go
need her.
there.
Because they was like, oh, we need information from him.
Did
When
they
one,
not know where his compound was? Maybe they needed her to find out where that was.
maybe that and maybe get the bios. No, they already had the bio connection.
She also gave them information that he had buyers for something. Because they didn't know he had a virus or anything. They had to figure that out.
But why not follow the bio site guy?
Oh, after you see him at the horse race?
Yeah.
True.
Or even before then, because that's where old dude was working. He was working at Biosite. That's what he
Oh,
took
yeah.
her.
So you should be doing some research on Biosite.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, I'm not sure she was really needed.
Yeah. So this is where we do a super scene where they kidnap the CEO of Biosite.
Mm-hmm.
And on the flip side, Ambrose is pretending to be Ethan, so he finds out that Naya
Mm-hmm.
is actually working for
IMF.
yeah. A lot of stupid things here. One, I don't know why Ethan and Naya are in love with each other right now. This is
Oh.
really weird. It's like
It was the car chase scene.
Oh yeah, them staring at each other in slow motion.
Yeah, as the cars are spinning,
And
just
then
barely
sitting in the car, hanging over the cliff. I'm like, bro, you're still in the car that's hanging over the cliff. Move up.
Yep.
Yeah.
But all right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So they fell in love then, and they loved each other, and they like. I don't.
That's
want
why
anything
he
bad
didn't want her to
happen
go
you.
undercover.
Right.
Sure, man. I don't
'Cause
know this person, man.
Yeah, you love this woman you
At
just
least
met.
give them a week or something. I don't know. Like, God, they knew each other for 5 hours.
Yeah, at this point, like it's literally just a one night stand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like, yeah,
Yeah,
I
he
would
got
find
jealous
a week
really
more
quick.
believable.
Mm-hmm.
So anyhow, yeah, Ambrose is mad now, and he knows that she's lying. And what did Ethan get from the CEO?
That's how he figured out that Ambrose didn't have the virus.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Okay.
He only had the cure.
He only had the cure. Okay, so
Right.
then that okay, they did need that because that's why they go to Biosite because they're like the virus is there. If we destroy the
Destroy it.
virus, he only has a cure,
and
no
it's
virus.
worthless.
Yeah.
But
and he's
I
not able to sell it.
Still feel like they can do this without Naya because you know Ambrose took the thing from old boy.
Mhm.
You know there's a virus involved.
Oh, if you follow Ambrose, you find. I mean, if you follow the
Dude.
CEO, you find Ambrose at the horse track.
Yeah. So I'm guessing at this point no one knew where Ambrose was living. Is that what we're
Yes.
saying?
Yeah.
No one knew where he was.
But then once you see him at the horse track, you follow him and you find it.
Yeah, you can still kidnap the CEO because you did that anyways. Which my thing is, I feel like you will be on him since that's where the virus came from.
Yep.
It came from
Yeah,
Biosite.
the number one suspect would be the CEO. Not because of that, but like you need him to figure out what is happening or what is happening.
Yeah.
And if he has any involvement in it.
I'm gonna go back to they didn't need Naya.
They didn't.
No.
Yeah.
They didn't.
Oh well. So they almost got this woman killed for no reason.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm gonna stick with that.
Cool beans. Cool beans.
But if you so happen to die, the secretary would deny it.
All right. So now we're on to another one of the really dumbest scenes ever. Okay, so because it worked so well in the first movie, we had to rappel down a shaft again because
It was cool the first time we did it.
yeah,
And we do it 6 more times.
Why wouldn't he just? I don't know. Could have snuck in through the bottom. He's
Right.
like the
It was too
bottom's
many
like,
guards.
Yeah,
too
but
many
it was too many guards, and he
Did
said,
he pretend to be somebody? I don't know.
"You got enough mask."
Yeah, you got
You have enough masks.
15 times in this
Yeah.
movie.
They said it was easier to go from the top.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, but you got 40 seconds.
Yeah. Anyway, he does it, and he's in the lab, and his job is to destroy the virus. Why is my dude moving so slow to destroy this virus?
Yes.
I don't understand. I don't
Yes.
understand why he was moving so slow. It's like
I don't wonder why that place didn't have more alarms. Like,
Yeah.
shouldn't it be alarms if the viruses are overheating?
I was
or
going to talk
something?
about that because there's a firefight, right?
Yeah.
Like they're
it should be
literally
alarms.
shooting at each other, right? Do you
Everywhere.
know the alarm didn't go off until Ethan blew up the wall at the end?
Yeah.
So a bomb, no, he blew up the room with the viruses in it.
Mm-hmm.
Then the alarm went off. You mean to tell me after all this stuff, one, you guys didn't hear the gunshots?
Well, my thing is, even before that, if a lab has a bunch of stuff and temperature starts changing and your stuff,
That triggers an
I just
alarm.
feel like there's an alarm on that saying, "Hey, there's something
Mhm.
going on in this room."
Yeah.
Same thing with the louvers opening.
Yeah.
They're supposed to be closed all times,
Yeah.
and then they open.
Well, they had a 40-second
They had a
rule.
40-second window.
But that doesn't matter. You alert me when it opens.
Yeah.
Not alert me that it opened and somehow stayed
never-
open.
yeah.
It's not supposed to be open at all.
And what's with him jumping before it's even open?
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I was wondering. Yeah, the guy in the helicopter, and Ethan's like, "We've got to go," and Ethan's like, "I'm gonna jump," and he's like, "He doesn't have them open. What do you mean?"
That doesn't make any sense. Also, Ethan, there was no reason for you to be impatient. You wasn't
No,
on the
there was-
clock.
Yeah, you weren't on the clock.
No, at that
Yeah.
You're not on the clock until they open. So wait
Yeah.
until they
Yeah.
open.
I'm like, so now that they're closed and he doesn't get them open, now you're dead.
Yeah,
Mission
you're dead.
over. Stupid.
That just makes it seem like it'd be a video game. You jump early and then smack on the building.
Exactly.
You die.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, so he destroys the virus in the slowest way possible
Mhm.
by lasering the petri dishes. I feel like there was a better way for this to go, but whatever.
I don't know. I would have brought a blowtorch or something, but that's just
You know, I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, doesn't make sense. But then there were 3 more. They were being stored in the guns, which I'm pretty sure they wouldn't do that.
no, but okay, they are. Sure.
Okay.
Why was guns so aggressive?
They were like, because when he was destroying through the guns, I guess there was like a contraption that will incinerate it, like you
Yeah.
fire it out. And yeah, it was like super aggressive.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
like, man, don't shoot me with that. That's ridiculous. Just put it in a syringe. Why are we doing this?
So he destroys 2 of them, but since he was moving extremely slow, and then he paused because he realized that the doctor had given himself the virus then. But you could have realized that and continued incinerating.
Right,
the virus.
right.
There was
But-
no reason for the pause.
That was irrelevant. Like, who cares at what point the doctor gave himself the virus?
Yeah.
Not important right now.
Yeah. So, yeah. And so, of course, they start shooting at him.
And the floor is glass.
Yeah. With the fiberglass. They make these labs look like, in these movies, the labs look so.
You know what labs
I
look
laugh
like?
at-
Yeah. It just be white
Just white towel.
towel. Yeah.
Mhm.
That's it.
White towel.
White towel.
A
But I like
rendered
that the
drywall.
glass that he was laying on didn't break.
Well, they did all that shooting of a man in a glass box and don't hit him once.
Yeah.
Yeah.
True.
Nor did he get cut by any glass.
Also,
Oh,
like,
you know, glass.
I
doesn't cut.
love that glass doesn't cut people in movies.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
they're shooting and like bullets are hitting the gun and they're like, "Oh, stop! You're gonna affect us all." Which then I was like, "Is it airborne?" Because I don't understand. I was like, if you're Ethan and they're doing all this, then shoot the vial. I would have shot it. It's like, well, it's gone now, you know.
But no, because apparently if it's out there, everyone gets infected. Apparently, that's what the guy said.
Not really, because we're all in this lab. So the guy, in order for it to work, he will have to go out there and infect people himself.
But he make it sound like it was an airborne thing, even though it was
Yeah.
in a liquid form. You break the vial, we're all in here. We're going to get infected. That's what he
I don't
said.
think so. Yeah, I don't think that's how it works. Especially if it's like if someone has a petri dish of the flu, I don't think
not
I'm gonna.
saying that's how it works. I'm saying that's what he said,
Yeah,
so
that's
we
what he
can
was saying.
assume that that's how it works.
Okay.
I was just worried. I'm like, there's other diseases in here while we're shooting.
Well, there's that. There probably is other
Maybe not.
diseases.
I guess it was just Chimera in there.
Yeah, that's not realistic. But yeah, okay.
Yeah.
It's a movie.
But anyway, he brings out Nye and was like, "Oh, look, I've got this person," and he makes her go pick up the gun for some reason. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Well, I guess because Ethan
Because
wouldn't
Ethan
shoot
is
her.
not going to shoot her.
See,
Which I honestly, which is kind of mean, but at this point in the movie, I was like,
well, I was gonna say at this point, this is why Ethan should be James Bond, because James Bond, like, I don't care about it.
especially after she like
Yeah.
gave herself the virus, because she picks it up and she
Mhm.
gives herself the virus, of course, to stop.
Yeah.
Scott from killing her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Ambrose
Ambrose.
wouldn't kill her. But then I was like, well, Ethan, if you kill her, then we're
She
We're
asked
done.
to kill her.
you know.
She did.
And I don't know that I would have. No, I probably wouldn't have. But
I mean,
I mean,
that's-
if you're a spy, maybe
That's pretty cold blooded.
it's cold blooded.
That is cold.
It is.
That's
I don't think I
It
would
does
kill
solve
her.
the problem though.
It's
it
over.
does.
Like,
Yeah.
You roll credits at that point. Viruses done.
They would never. Remember, Ethan's like the likable spy. He
Yeah.
never in none of these movies. He never does anything where you're like, whoa.
Yeah, that's true.
If I were a spy, now Mimi, I couldn't do it. It'd be like, that's
You're
too
also not
long.
gonna be a spy either.
But if I were a spy,
You don't have a spy makeup.
that's true.
But I feel like a true spy would do it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, yeah, because you solved the problem.
Yeah,
Yeah. And also, you don't know this guy.
and that's their whole thing
Yeah.
is to
They didn't know each other for
to
5
follow
hours.
through their mission, and the mission is to kill the virus.
No, the mission was to bring it back to IMF.
Bring the virus back.
Yeah.
Could that parachute carry both of them?
Yes.
Yes,
Okay.
Yes.
that was a big parachute.
My thing
pretty
is,
sure it
you
could.
doing all this rock climbing and all of that, and you can't hold on to this lady while you parachute out this.
She's like, you can't get us both out of here, can you? No. So
No.
he blows up a wall, jumps out, and he has this big old parachute. And I'm like, I think you could have.
He could have.
Oh, you know what he couldn't have done?
Have both those guns in his hand while he doing it.
And the unnecessary flip he did in the air.
Yeah,
So-
So he jumps out of the window. He doesn't flip out the window. He jumps out of the window.
right.
And
Like-
flips.
And then later on, he flips,
Flips.
but still doesn't pull the parachute until he's in the exact same position that he was when he jumped out the
There
window.
was a lot of unnecessary flipping, unnecessary jumping,
Yes.
unnecessary tuck and rolling.
Yeah,
And I'm like, why did we just roll over here? Didn't make any sense.
Also, when they ran to the open hole in the wall, how come they couldn't see him?
I know, right?
I was like, I'm pretty sure that parachute's still there.
it gotta
was
be
so
still there.
big.
And like Ambrose just had the mean mad face on his, like he got away. And I'm like, he's on the ground. Just run outside.
Yeah.
He had that Bullock look on Batman: The Mask of the Phantasm when Batman get away.
So yeah, so he could have escaped with her. He did an unnecessary flip. Ambrose could have shot him down.
Mm-hmm.
All right, none of that happened. Ethan gets away. He leaves Naya with Ambrose, who now. So their plan is to get the CEO, right? Release the virus so that the company can release the cure
Mhm.
and make money off of that.
Charles the Cure.
On paper, that seems cool, but you don't think people are going to question while you like immediately
Yeah.
have the cure for this unknown virus that just released?
I'm glad because I was literally going to say the same thing. Like, it's going to be like, hey, why does this company have a cure for a disease that no one knew existed?
Right. And why does this guy all of a sudden have 51% stake in this company?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, I don't know, like usually when you get like pandemics, they typically like CDC is like, hey, yo,
This is free.
can you give us that cure?
Yeah. But I
Thank
guess
you.
the difference is that he's not that kind of company where he's going to say, no, you're paying for it. I don't know if there's rules in the government to be like, absolutely not.
I'm pretty sure Australia could go, oh, that's funny. Yeah, no, give them the cure.
Yeah. So I don't know how that all works. But generally, like we see what we lived through or the movie Contagion is that some pharmaceutical company, Johnson & Johnson, makes the cure. It becomes readily available. Everyone gets it.
Yeah, I mean the government pays Johnson & Johnson.
Yeah.
obviously.
Yeah.
But my thing is, I'm also sure that the time they spent developing it is money they spent on their own. I'm sure there's some compensation, but they're not getting those millions of dollars, not all of it back.
Yeah.
Right.
So yeah, one, and your point is like, they're definitely questioning like, why you all of a sudden have this, right? You know, these things takes years to develop, and you're like, oh no, I got that.
I got the cure tomorrow.
Yeah, and then now you're gonna charge people what $400 a shot or something. That's the part I question.
Yeah.
Like, how is that allowed?
It wouldn't have been.
Or I don't know, are the government and pharmaceuticals working on like a honor system? You know what I mean? It's just like, is it
Well,
just
if you're a company in Australia,
yes?
the Australian government can tell you what to do. They can, like, I'm pretty sure they can go. I mean, obviously, it doesn't work like the US, but the US has like that act where they can just go, like, no, we need you to manufacture a cure for this disease, and that's what you're going to do.
But how do they make them do it?
They can shut the company down.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, like they're allowing you to do business in their country.
Okay, so see, that's the part of the question is like, because that's like the honor system is basically it's like, hey, we need this thing. You guys are going to work on this thing for us, and then everyone will benefit from it.
Yeah.
It's just kind of like, yeah, we'll do that. But that's because no one really wants to see a pandemic.
Yeah.
But this guy does. So my thing is why he be like, no, I'm not going to do that.
Well, then it's like, okay, have fun not doing business here. I mean, they can seize his funds. I'm pretty sure there's a lot.
There's something that they can do.
Yeah. Yeah. But anyway, not a great plan.
Mm-hmm.
Because even if they can, it's still real suspicious that you have the cure for a disease that didn't exist.
Agreed. Especially for something so weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like something that's like it didn't come from, most things comes from like some contaminated something or another. This is a thing that was purely made in a lab, invented. It's like awful, awful, awful. You would have no reason to have the cure to that.
Yeah, you would. And I don't know, their contact tracing and stuff is pretty good.
Yeah.
They would have traced it back to Biosite.
Yeah, they would have.
Yeah. Yeah.
So then it would be
and he gets arrested
suspicious
and go to jail. Yeah.
So you wouldn't have made any money.
No.
And then that stock would not have been worth nothing because that's what Ambrose asked for, to give me a stock, right?
Yeah.
It's like, okay, after all that is said and done, that stock would have been worth zero.
Yeah. Well, he's banking on them charging people for this or the government for it or something.
Yeah.
Not a great plan.
It is not.
I agree.
But anyway, this is where Ethan scales a cliff into the compound, which I guess is why we needed that rock climbing scene in the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
He unnecessarily flips to kick a guard.
Yes.
In the chest, which somehow knocks the guard out. I don't know how that works.
He had a heart attack. Next.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
There are too many pigeons in this scene. Oh my god. 2 out of 10, too many pigeons.
So many pigeons.
Oh my gosh. I don't know. These scenes with him in the compound, like knocking on the guards, not interesting. Maybe, I don't know.
When I was younger, I thought it was really cool.
Oh yeah, when I was a kid, I was like, yeah, awesome. He's running around the corner in the unnecessary slow motion, and the white dove is coming down. Ooh, so bad. But yeah, as a kid, I was like,
door.
Oh yeah.
They all staring at the door.
Oh, didn't he walk past the door for no reason?
With the flames?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the dove flew through it too.
Yeah, the dove flew through, and then he walked past the door.
Yeah.
Yes.
For no reason.
Yes.
Because he needed to be in the room, so I don't know why you walked past it.
To let Ambrose know that he was there.
I think he knew you were there already. You blew the door up. The bomb didn't let him know.
He wanted him to see his face. Yeah. So then he sent his men after him.
Yeah, he sent his men after him. Somehow Ethan beats the guy and puts a mask on him. Again, too many masks.
Mm-hmm.
So Ambrose thinks he has Ethan, and he's like, I'm going to shoot him. And he's like, he shoots him in the leg or something like that. Doesn't question why he's like writhing in pain, but his mouth isn't opening.
He said he broke his jaw. He said he broke his jaw.
If his jaw broken, he's not opening his mouth.
Fine.
I mean, at least they gave you a reason for that.
All right. It just seemed a little weird. Then he shoots him, and he notices that he has his finger cut off because, you unnecessarily cut his finger off earlier in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
And then he's like, no, because he's got the mask. But then Ethan's running away with the cure now because he's got to get it to his girl who's going to die in 5 minutes, I guess. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Did they show the time on that?
They never showed
the time.
Okay. Because it probably went past 20 hours.
Definitely.
So now we get the car chase stuff. I'm going to admit that I did not watch the end of the movie. I was tired after this point. And I was like, I can't. I remember that it was an unnecessary car chase scene. We got the fight scene with the knife almost going to his eye, which Tom Cruise actually almost had a knife going to his eye for no apparent reason. Stupid.
Yeah.
But then he wins eventually.
I mean, that's basically the end of the movie.
Yeah.
That car's. It's a whole lot of dead pedestrians. I just want to put that out there. Yeah. They either got shot or died in a crash.
Hey, what about that whole like 3 different camera angles of him turning around on the motorcycle and swinging the gun around so he can shoot the gas tank for the car to blow up?
Yeah. Or him riding on the side of the motorcycle.
Oh,
He has no feet. He has no feet.
No, he's got like steel things on the bottom of boots.
That is
still
still
spy boots.
That is impossible.
Special spy boots, man. All right, so I'm assuming he gets her the cure and they like live happily ever after, and she's never mentioned again.
The bad guy had to get up when he thought he was dead.
Well, because he should have killed him, could have killed him, decided not to.
Yeah.
So the guy gets up like, you should have killed me, Ethan. And then some wind blows and reveals a gun in the sand.
Yeah.
He kicks it up.
Catches the gun. Ethan gets shot.
Yes.
He gets shot. There's no way he's able to kick the gun up, catch it, swings his body out the way to miss getting shot, and shoots Ambrose 2 times.
This movie is a cinematographer that just like loves himself, right? Like he's just like, oh yeah, look at this shot, yeah, like that's how this
whole thing is
all
all about Tom Cruise. Like, what will make me look cool? And I like watching this movie. I felt like, and it was proven through in my random movie facts. They had a bunch of action scenes and said, how do we write the movie around that? Because that's what it felt like. It was like all these things like, hey, what would be cool? And then it's like, how do we make this into a movie? And that's what it felt like.
Yeah, because them on the motorcycles and then like jumping in the air.
Running into each other. And I'm like, you guys would have knocked yourselves out.
Yeah. Gone completely.
Like, dude, running into someone on a basketball court hurts. And you can knock yourself out.
Right. You going full speed on a motorcycle.
And you jump into another.
Mid-air, jump into each other.
Not happening. Not happening.
No. Then Ethan got hit in the head with a rock.
Yeah.
He body slams him on a rock slab.
Hey, yo, Tom Cruise, if this knife on the cable thing fails, then
he has no eye.
Oh, he's dead.
It might not go all the way through. It was a small knife.
No, not small.
Oh, and this other actor is traumatized because he killed somebody.
Yeah.
Goodness.
That
was Mission Impossible 2. Go ahead with your movie facts.
Highest grossing film of 2000.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, I'm probably part of the one.
I mean, I can see for 2000.
It wasn't a good movie in 2000.
It wasn't, but as a kid, I
At least
loved
we were young, so we didn't know any better.
I watched this movie a ton of times. That's how I still knew the ending, even though I didn't watch it this time.
I mean, I get
it made more money than Gladiator or Castaway?
Yeah, crazy, right?
I couldn't watch Gladiator.
Now, I got to question that. I got a question.
I mean, I think I did, but...
No, we saw it, but maybe we shouldn't.
I got to question that.
Yeah.
Also, The Grinch That Stole Christmas and X-Men, like, yeah, nah.
It's Tom Cruise.
It's Tom Cruise.
All right, what else?
Yeah. So it was initially rated R, but then they got it re-rated to PG-13 by cutting a lot of action scenes and the violence was trimmed down. This movie didn't need to be rated R.
I was like, what, they were going to show more blood?
I don't know. They didn't.
I was like, that's not only difference would have been.
Or maybe if it's too violent, you know what I mean?
2000s are though.
Yeah, 2000s R is different than the PG-13 R.
You saw his arm get blown off.
Well, no, we're talking about 2000s R. So it's not the same. This is like, instead of him getting hit once with a rock, he probably got hit 10 times. Something like that.
And he still got a...
Yeah.
The glasses actually blew up on his face.
So the rock climbing scene was filmed in Utah. Tom Cruise did it, but he was on cables, but there was a double that did the hanging scene. But
you mean when he was unnecessarily hanging from one hand?
Yes.
Why?
Because it looks
like if you're tired on a mountain, you don't hang with one hand like, oh, let me rest. What do you mean?
Yeah, I'm like, you don't have time. Your hands are getting tired.
All right.
Yeah.
So Doug Ray Scott, the guy who played Ambrose, was going to play Logan / Wolverine in the X-Men movies. But because this movie went over his schedule, he had to back out, and that is how we got Hugh
This is why
Jackman.
this is the best movie in the year 2000.
And
Oh my god!
not only that,
excellent.
Ian McKellen was supposed to play the character that Anthony Hopkins played, but everything was going over schedule, so he didn't do it. So he ended up in Lord of the Rings and the X-Men movies.
Oh, this movie just saved our universe.
Wow.
And it only went over schedule because Eyes Wide Shut, that Tom Cruise was also filming, went over schedule.
Wow.
Yes.
Can you imagine, man? That's a whole different
Ambrose
timeline.
as X-Men. I mean, not X-Men,
As
but
Wolverine?
Wolverine.
Horrible.
He doesn't have the face.
No.
Just like there was a lot of faces he was making in this movie, and I was like, dude, I can't take you serious. Bro.
Yeah, no.
I
He
can't
just
take you serious.
not right.
Especially the scene when he took the mask off, and his number one was talking to him, and he was just like, "Get the chopper ready."
He looked so whiny.
Yes.
Yeah, he was a very whiny person.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So man, we avoided a timeline there.
Yeah. So John,
Hey, you know what? Maybe the other timeline is the better timeline. You never know.
it's not.
It's
It's not.
I'm
It-
not saying
it
the movie's
really
better. I
isn't.
was just saying maybe it's the better timeline.
610.
So John Woo's first cut of this movie was 3.5 hours, and
Oh,
Paramount said
wow.
absolutely not.
John
Trim
How
those down.
you have made this 3 hours?
I don't know.
I felt it was long on.
It was long.
John Woo, like every time you say it, like my brain screams in the original Hulk. Look, no, please. I'm glad I haven't seen any other movies he's
Yeah.
made.
So the writer, Robert Towne, confirmed my suspicions that the script was written around action scenes that John Woo wanted. So thank you for
Yeah,
that.
that's an excellent way to make a movie.
So let's make action scenes and then write the story.
Mm-hmm. So, and here I also had a suspicion too. The opening plane crash scene was supposed to lead into the opening credits, which felt like it should have happened,
But we wanted Tom Cruise climbing a mountain.
which was unnecessary. So instead of cutting to the opening scene, it cuts to Tom Cruise climbing a mountain and then the opening scene because he felt like the plane crash scene wasn't exciting enough. And I was like, no, because watching this movie after the crash, I expected to see the credits.
Wait, hold on. Wait, hold on. Tom Cruise felt like
Oh yeah, there's a whole lot of Tom Cruise felt things. In this making
hold
of
on.
the
So
movie.
Tom Cruise, you feel like watching you climb a mountain and throw some sunglasses off your face is more exciting than seeing a plane crash.
This whole movie is a Tom Cruise Eagle Fest.
John Woo directed Face Off, by the way.
Yeah, but at least Face Off was entertaining. Equally as ridiculous, but entertaining.
No, I don't
I
want to
give
see
you that.
Face Off.
You never seen Face Off?
I haven't.
Face.
Oh no, it's ridiculous.
It is.
But
we
it is
definitely should
super
Does it
entertaining.
have
We
as
definitely have.
equal amounts of
Slow motion?
unnecessary
Yes.
epic
Yes.
music?
And doves. And there's doves.
Oh, there is doves, and there's
Yeah.
a lot of doves in Face Off.
I hate that movie.
And
You're
two
not gonna hate
different
the movie.
fighting scenes too.
Yeah, you're not gonna hate the movie. Like if I'm telling you it's dumb but entertaining, it's dumb but entertaining.
It's because it's Nicolas Cage and John Travolta.
Both overreacting.
Yeah,
And
they're both
They
overacting.
felt like they're trying to outdo each other.
Yes.
Overacting.
Yeah.
All right.
But it's fun.
We'll get more into that after we record, but yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so we already mentioned the knife and the eye scene was done with a real knife because why not Tom Cruise?
Yeah.
And he insisted that it had to stop like a quarter of an inch from his eye. Why? Not necessary. And it was on a cable measured exactly the length that he needed to be a quarter inch from his eye. And he insisted that Ambrose / Doug Ray Scott used all of his strength in the struggle. All of that was unnecessary.
It was.
I mean, the cable could have stretched differently. The crane could have moved slightly. The wind could be blowing. I don't like. There's so much.
You
How
could
is
have.
this man not dead yet.
You could have underestimated the Ambrose strength. Like
Yeah.
a whole bunch of stuff could have went wrong.
And as mentioned, this movie has the highest amount of mass used in this film. Darren says 7. The actual number is 5.
That was close.
Still too many. It's about 4 too many in this movie. This is the only Mission Impossible movie where Ethan Hunt is actually on a mission sanctioned by the IMF.
Oh yeah.
Usually he's on the run, going rogue, or
Yep.
been kicked out or something.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. And then Tandy Newton declined to return for the 3rd movie, so she would have still
Oh,
been
that's why
his.
she was never mentioned again.
Yeah, she would have still been his love interest,
Oh,
and she said no, thank you.
I don't blame her. Because this movie was stupid.
Yeah. All right, nitpicks.
I mentioned.
I
some.
mean, we mentioned some.
We mentioned a lot. Rock climbing scene unnecessary. Here's one. Why is Anthony Hopkins in this movie?
Yes.
Because his character sets up feel like he's going to show up again, but he doesn't show up in any of the other movies.
No, you
He
don't.
sure doesn't. I
So
don't know.
why is he in this movie?
I don't know why he's in it.
Yeah. Car shape scene. Definitely a copy from GoldenEye. Didn't need that. It was cool in GoldenEye. I don't need you to copy it. So
Getting in the car over the edge.
yep, that was my next one. We don't have time to be making out on a car that's sitting on the edge of a cliff.
Yeah.
Unnecessary.
I mean, it was being held up by the rock. I'll give them that. But
Yeah.
still,
No.
I would move out of the
Just,
car.
things move and shift, and maybe we should get to safety before we do this. Just saying.
Yeah.
I already mentioned why did he jump before the louvers were actually open. Here's one we sort of talked about, but not really about how slow he was moving, destroying the virus.
Yeah.
But I like how he gets to the last one and decides now's the time to have an unnecessary flashback. And I feel like it's only there just to hold him up long enough to get caught by Ambrose's team.
Yeah.
Just not necessary. And I'm going to die on the hill that it was unnecessary for her to inject herself with the virus. I don't think we needed that. I think there were other options. People could argue against it, but I'm saying we didn't need that.
Well, if she had the virus, if she picked it up, she could have ran to Ethan.
Pick it up, kick it.
Because
throw
he
it,
still
something.
wouldn't have shot at her because she was holding the virus.
I don't think it was necessary.
Oh, I just came across on why, where you were saying about Anthony Hopkins.
Mm-hmm.
They said he's not even credited for the movie, and that is because he wasn't even intended to be in the movie to begin with.
I'm just saying, why are we paying this man money? You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
not like he's getting paid $200 for this.
Yeah, so you are absolutely right. There was no need for him to be in the movie. Like, he wasn't in the original script.
So unnecessary.
So
Yeah, also the glasses told him to get Tandy Newton's character, right? So he
Yeah.
didn't.
Yeah. So anyways, that was my last nitpick. My final thought is, I hate this movie.
All right, so we're gonna rate it. I'm not doing our fancy ratings. This gets a 2 out of 10 for me.
What? It's pure torture.
All right, 5 pure torture.
Yeah. It took me 3 tries to get through this movie.
I got it through it
Hey, you
one
know
try.
what made it worse? The fact that this was on a free service and it was extended by commercials.
Yeah.
Like, I was already being tortured watching this movie, and then I had to watch commercials. Wow.
Yeah. And that is, I don't know
I
if
did feel like I was watching it on a cable network.
yeah, and I don't know if because I don't like all of my stuff is like I'm usually, keeping my identity hidden. So I got the exact same 3 commercials every single time. And
Yeah, I didn't get the exact same,
No, I didn't.
but
every single time.
I
I
got
just
a
felt like
$6.99 foot long commercial at Subway, which is ridiculous. It was $5. What happened? No, I don't mean Subway, which is probably why I never knew it was different. But still,
that's too much.
yeah.
That's too much.
I'm
It's
like,
been a
you're
while.
pricing this $2 more than it used to be.
More than it should be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Subways are just closed, but
Yeah,
whatever.
they're all kind of gross. But yeah, so I'm just wondering is because like they didn't have any cookie data to get on me. They're like, we're just gonna show her these same 3 commercials.
Yeah.
that's probably
probably.
what it was.
It's like a lot of cookies then or something. Because some commercials was annoying.
But yeah, I would agree. Pure torture.
Great. This movie, I was like, oh yeah, I remember not liking it, and then I was like, nope,
Yeah.
still don't like it.
And it's like when I was younger, I remember not liking the movie. But it was like, as a kid, I enjoyed the fight scenes. But
Yeah,
now
all the
that I'm
dumb
an
action
adult-
scenes that are stupid.
Yeah,
As a
but-
kid, I was like, yeah, that's so cool.
Yeah, all the flip kicks and everything,
Ugh.
thought they were so cool. So unnecessary.
Unnecessary. Why'd you do a flip right there,
Man.
bro? I don't like why.
My favorite is the side kick and then
Oh my gosh.
And the wind blowing.
Oh yeah, his hair was long in this movie.
Yeah, and the sand constantly kicking up.
I'll be glad if I ever have to see this movie again. Also, I knew it when you said we were watching Mission Impossible 2. I was like, I don't want to watch this movie.
Oh, I know. I chose it on purpose. We were on a run of really good movies.
Well, we could still. Oh, I guess our tagline is "Stupid Movies." Technically, is a stupid movie podcast. But
Yeah, I had another picked out. I was like, no, I'm gonna do a movie I don't like.
fine.
So thank you, you guys.
So, if you haven't, if you're like Gen Z or something, and you haven't seen Mission Impossible 2, don't watch it. It's a bad movie. It's stupid. I'm surprised this didn't tank the Mission Impossible franchise, and there were no other movie. But no, it made all the money in 2000.
Yep.
So yeah, that's our thoughts on this movie. Make sure you leave a comment and let us know why you hate this movie, and we will catch you in the next one.